Back here, WHIP Radio in Philadelphia. California Chrome is looking to become the first Triple Crown winner in 36 years, back when a firm did it in 1978. Now joining us on the hotline is the man that is the voice of the Triple Crown on NBC, and that's our good buddy, Larry Collmus. Larry, Zach Gelb here. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Looking forward to the Belmont on Saturday. It's pretty exciting times.
Well, it's all going to be centered around California Chrome, as he won the Kentucky Derby, then he won the Preakness, and I was now looking to win the Belmont. What has impressed you the most about this horse so far as he looks to complete the final leg of the Triple Crown?
Well, I think the most impressive thing has been how far out in front he's gotten in mid-stretch in those races, in both the Derby and the Preakness, farther out in front than a lot of the other horses. In fact, I think he was farther out in front than any of the horses that won both of those races, and was kind of eased up down toward the wire. So I think that's been a very impressive thing, considering the other horses he's running against have mostly run against him before. And the other thing is, he just seems to be such a rateable horse that does what the jockey asks him to do, and I think that's going to be a big help for this mile-and-a-half distance.
In recent memory, the Belmont has not been very kind to Triple Crown potential winners, as we haven't seen one in 36 years since the firm did it back in 1978. We all know what happened 2 years ago with I'll Have Another, as he was scratched before the race. What's the biggest challenge for California Chrome as he gets ready for this race on Saturday at Belmont?
I think the biggest challenge is not necessarily the distance of a mile and a half, but the fact that several of the horses that ran behind him in the Kentucky Derby did not run in the Preakness, and they've taken 5 weeks off between those two races. So those horses are fresher than he is, where he had to run in the Preakness and has had 2 races within 2 weeks of each other, and is now coming back on 3 weeks rest.
And there's been a lot made about this whole nasal strip thing. That was more last week. You haven't really seen a lot of it this week. How important is that nasal strip, and why is there such a big deal about it that they're letting him wear the nasal strip coming up this Saturday?
I really don't think it's a big deal at all. It's one of those things where it's worked for him in the past. I think that it does help a little bit with breathing, and there's nothing wrong with having those. And the New York people just didn't allow them in the past because they just didn't feel like they needed to. But now I think they were put in a situation where they really did need to have this horse run in the Belmont Stakes, and now they've let all horses have them, which is the right thing to do.
I agree with you, as we're talking to Larry Collmus from NBC, the voice of the Triple Crown. You can hear him this Saturday, as it will be up in Belmont, as California Chrome is going for the Triple Crown. And let's get to his jockey, Victor Espinoza. He's been in this situation before with War Emblem, looking for the Triple Crown. He was unsuccessful out of a bad start out of the gate. Is there anything that Victor learned many years ago when he had War Emblem that he could apply coming up on Saturday?
Well, I think the key is going to be the start. I mean, the start for War Emblem was just awful. And War Emblem was a freewheeling, front-running horse. And when he didn't get out of the gate well, that race was over right then. California Chrome, I think, is a horse that could deal with not having the best of starts, although you really want one. And he had a good start in both the Derby and the Preakness, and it just is able to get you positioned in those races, and is able to get you into the spot you want to be. You're behind the 8 ball if you don't come out of the gate right. So I think Victor's going to want to get him out of the gate right, and I think he's going to want to get him to the outside, because California Chrome seems to like that.
The approach at Belmont is very important, because as you talked about, the length of it is like no other. How do you think Victor will approach this race?
I think Victor is doing the right thing. He is riding this week at Belmont Park, and he's going to get some experience there and ride some races and get himself familiarized with what you said is a very different racetrack than any other place there is. Not only is the race a mile and a half, the track is a mile and a half around, and the poles are in different places than you're used to at other racetracks. So I think experience during the week, just to get him back in form at Belmont, is a great idea.
I'm the occasional horse racing fan. I only really watch the big 3 races and then whatever on late night TV on MSG late at night. But just real quickly, you guys did a great story, NBC, on Victor's brother, as he had an unfortunate accident and he had to retire from the sport. Can you just talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, unfortunately, Jose Espinoza, Victor's older brother, did have a very bad accident and suffered a concussion and several other injuries. He has recovered pretty well, and he's actually, I guess you could call him retired, but he's thinking about trying to get back and riding. I'm not sure if he will or not, but he's been able to come to both the Derby and the Preakness and be there for Victor, and it hasn't been easy for him. And I think that Victor's really appreciated having his brother there, and it's a great story because Jose's getting better, and he's really, I think, getting better because of Victor's success.
I'm sure this is the farthest thing on his mind for Victor Espinoza as he looks to win a Triple Crown. But I saw him do an interview, and he said he was contemplating retirement at the age of 38, and then he kind of laughed that one off because now he's 42 years old. If he wins the Triple Crown coming up on Saturday, could you see a possible retirement from Victor Espinoza?
No, I would doubt that. I think Victor would keep riding simply because winning the Triple Crown, he would become a better commodity for everybody. People would want to start riding him on more horses, and one of the real reasons why he was thinking about retiring is his career was not going anywhere. He wasn't riding any winners. Now, if he wins the Triple Crown, people will want him, and I think he'll at least ride for a couple more years. You'd have to ask him on that, but that would just be my guess.
We're looking for a Triple Crown on Saturday at the Belmont. Larry Collmus joins us right now. He's the voice of the Triple Crown on NBC and NBC Sports. All right, so let's get to the rest of the field. We all know the favorite's going to be California Chrome, and everyone's going to be watching him. But like we mentioned, in recent memory, Belmont has not been kind to the Triple Crown hopeful. Who's the biggest threat to California Chrome when you look at this field?
I think it's a very competitive field behind California Chrome, and I was discussing this with a friend last night. It's hard to even guess who the public is going to make the second choice of the race. I have a feeling that Wicked Strong might be the type of horse that we need to look out for. He ran in the Kentucky Derby and was highly regarded in that race and did not have a good trip that day. He is stabled at Belmont Park and has been one of those horses who's been waiting those 5 weeks to take on California Chrome in the Belmont Stakes. I would expect him to run very well. Commanding Curve, who was a fast-closing second in the Kentucky Derby, certainly has to be respected in the race. And there's also a newcomer in Tonalist who did not run in either the Derby or the Preakness, but had a great prep race in the Peter Pan, and that race has done well for horses going into the Belmont Stakes. There's a few others. Samrat, who we saw ran pretty well in the Kentucky Derby. I think he has to be really respected in the race. Of course, Ride on Curlin, who is a fast-closing second in the Preakness. There are a lot of horses that have a major chance of winning if California Chrome doesn't run his best race.
If he does run his best race, and let's say after the race, California Chrome is your Triple Crown winner, and we all know that Belmont's going to have an exuberant atmosphere coming up on Saturday. After the race, though, what would this win do for the sport, as we haven't seen a Triple Crown winner in about 36 years?
Yeah, that's a good question that a lot of people are wondering. I mean, will everyone decide, okay, I'm going to go to the racetrack every day? No, I don't think that that's the case, but it'll certainly put us high up on people's list of places to go and enjoy this sport of ours. It's a great sport. It's sort of fallen out of favor with the general public, but hopefully with a horse like California Chrome winning the Triple Crown, if he's able to do it, it'll be a positive thing for racing.
How many people are they expecting at Belmont on Saturday?
I haven't heard exactly. I think they had 120,000 for Smarty Jones when he tried to win the Triple Crown 10 years ago. I would think you'd have that again. You won't have all the people coming up from Philadelphia that came up for Smarty Jones that time, but I do think that they're going to have a huge crowd. This horse is extremely popular, and also Belmont Park has an amazing day of racing that day. They've got a lot of top-notch stakes races from top to bottom to really make it an even better day.
On the way out here with Larry Collmus for NBC, he'll be on the call for the Triple Crown coming up on Saturday at the Belmont as California Chrome looks to win the Triple Crown in first Triple Crown would be in 36 years. Have you thought of a winning call? I do play-by-play for football. I know it's tough to envision scenarios like that you could possibly witness on Saturday, but have you thought about a winning call if California Chrome is to win the Triple Crown?
Oh, sure. I mean, you have to think about what you want to say under certain circumstances, but as you know, the race could be close, and you may not be able to deliver that exact call if you're not sure he's going to win or not. But you do have to be prepared, and if he's going to run off and easily defeat his competition, I've got something in mind that I'd like to say that I think is appropriate. I think that you want to be not over the top with it and just sort of let the moment speak for itself, because it would be so dramatic, and it's almost like you want to stay out of the way of that great great moment.
Yeah, I agree with you because you know that crowd will definitely be going in a raucous atmosphere if they were to see a Triple Crown coming up on Saturday. I hope you get that call of a Triple Crown winner. It'd be great for the sport. Larry Collmus, thanks so much for joining us for a few minutes.
My pleasure, Zach.